with the devil might last you forever.
Dog. Yo. Man, what's good with y'all? It's your boy Ochi from the Woe Clan. We are back with another video. This time we got another requested vid from my boy Oracle. I appreciate you, my brother. This time we reacted to Dance with the Devil, Immortal technique. Now, I don't know nothing about this. Never heard of it, never seen it. It looks old, but it looks like it probably has a message to it. It's just based off of like all the other videos I see right here. So, you know what we about to do, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to stop wasting y'all time and let's get straight to it. Full version with lyrics. Ooh, let's get it. 9 minutes? Is it 9 minutes? And hidden track. It's a hidden track. I'm not listening to the whole thing, but let's get it. Dance the Devil.
I once knew a nigga whose real name was William. His primary concern was making $1 million, being the illest hustler that the world ever seen. He used to fuck movie stars and sniff coke in his dreams. A corrupted young mind at the age of 13. Nigga never had a father and his mom.
He was 13 thinking about that shit? What? That nigga never had a father and his mom was a fiend.
Was a fiend, she put the pipe down, but for every year she was sober, her son's heart simultaneously grew colder. He started hanging out, selling bags in the projects, checking the young chicks looking for hit and run prospects. He was fascinated by material objects, but he understood money never brought respect. He built a reputation because he could hustle and steal, but got locked once and didn't hesitate to squeal. So criminals he chilled with didn't think he was real. You see, me and niggas like this have never.
He's a rat. He's a motherfucking rat. He's a rat. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not no street nigga. I'm a civilian. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like he was in them streets and, you know what I'm saying, he started to squeal.
So criminals he chilled with didn't think he was real. You see, me and niggas like this have never been equal. I don't project my insecurities on other people. He fiended for props like addicts with pipes and needles, and so he felt he had to prove to everyone he was evil. A feeble-minded young man with infinite potential, the product of a ghetto-bred capitalistic mental. Coincidentally dropped out of school to sell weed, dancing with the devil, smoked until his eyes would bleed. But he was sick of selling trees and gave in to his greed.
Oh, bro, this storytelling is freaking crazy. Like, I visualized, like, you can visualize what he's saying. Like, I love storytelling rappers like that when you can visualize every bar. Like, it's like it's very smooth. It's a smooth story, smooth storytelling. I'm liking it so far. Hey.
Everyone trying to be trife, never face the consequences. You probably only did a month for minor offenses. Ask a nigga doing life if he had another chance. But then again, there's always the wicked that knew in advance. Dance forever with the devil on a cold cell block. But that's what happens when you rape, murder, and sell rock. Devils used to be gods, angels that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot.
I ain't gonna lie, this is some real shit right here. Now, you know, it's crazy. I was just talking about this shit the other day. Like, there's a lot of people that are pretending that, like, they're pretending like they're about that life, and when they don't have to be. Just be yourself, you know what I mean? They're acting like they have to be hard or they have to be this and that. In reality, that's not who you are. That's not who you're meant to be, and that's okay. You don't have to throw yourself in that type of Shark Tank just to feel like you're cool. A lot of people think they have to do that in order to be cool or to have a story, or to be involved, bro. You don't have to do that, bro, because it only ends up in a negative way for you. It doesn't end up good. You don't get nothing good from it. You get temporary stimulation maybe, but in the long run, nah, you're gonna get fucked.
So Billy started robbing niggas, anything he could do to get his respect back in the eyes of his crew.
And trying to get respect from other men, like that's crazy.
Starting fights over little shit up on the block. Stepped up to selling mothers and brothers to crack rock, working over.
Well, not respect, right? He's over here trying to impress other men. Not even respect. He's just trying to impress other dudes, bro. You wildin'.
anything he could do to get his respect back in the eyes of his crew. Starting fights over little shit up on the block. Stepped up to selling mothers and brothers the crack rock. Working overtime, making money for the crack spot. Hit the jackpot and wanted to move up to cocaine. Fulfilling the Scarface fantasy stuck in his brain. Tired of the block niggas treating him the same. He wanted to be major like the cutthroats and the thugs. But when he tried to step to him, niggas showed him no love. They told him any motherfucking coward can sell drugs. Any bitch nigga with a gun can bust slugs. Any nigga with a red shirt can front like a blood. Even Puffy smoked the motherfucker up in the club. But only a real thug can stab someone till they die. Standing in front of them, staring straight into their eyes. Billy realized that these men were well guarded, and they wanted to test him before business started. Suggested raping a bitch to prove he was cold-hearted. So now he had a choice between going back to his life or making money with made men. Up in the sight, his dreams about cars and ice made him agree a hardcore nigga is all he ever wanted to be. And so he met them Friday night at 2:45.
Let's keep it going, bro.
Everyone trying to be trife, never face the consequences. You probably only did a month for minor offenses. Ask a nigga doing life if he had another chance. But then again, there's always the wicked that knew in advance. Dance forever with the devil on a cold cell block. But that's what happens when you rape, murder, and sell rock. Devils used to be God's angels that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot. They drove around the project slow while it was raining, smoking blunts, drinking and joking for entertainment, until they saw a woman on the street walking alone, 3 in the morning, coming back from work on her way home. And so they quietly got out the car and followed her. Walking through the projects, the darkness swallowed her. They wrapped her shirt around their head and knocked her onto the floor. This is it, kid, now you got your chance to be raw. So Billy yoked her up and grabbed the chick by the hair and dragged her into a lobby that had nobody there.
Yo, this is 15 years ago. Raping a female, like, bro, sexually assaulting a female, how does that make you hard, bro? Like, you don't got game to get, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that make you hard if you're taking somebody like that? That is crazy that they're doing this right now, bro. This is mind blown.
She struggled hard, but they forced her to go up the stairs. They got to the roof and then held her down on the ground, screaming, "Shut the fuck up and stop moving around." The shirt covered her face, but she screamed and clawed. So Billy stomped on the bitch till he broke in her jaw.
Wow.
The dirty bastards knew exactly what they were doing. They kicked her until they cracked her ribs and she stopped moving. Blood leaking through the cloth, she cried silently. And then they all proceeded to rape her violently. Billy was made to go first, but each of them took a turn, ripping her up and choking her until her throat burned. Her broken jaw mumbled for God, but they weren't concerned when they were done and she was lying bloody, broken and bruised. One of them niggas pulled out a brand new 22. They told him that she was a witness for what she'd gone through, and if he killed her, he was guaranteed a spot in the crew. He thought about it for a minute, she was practically dead, and so he leaned over and put the gun right to her head. I'm falling and I can't turn back.
Bro.
I'm falling and I can't turn back. Right before he pulled the trigger and ended her life, he thought about the cocaine with the platinum and ice, and he felt strong standing along with his new brothers. Cocked the gat to her head and pulled back the shirt cover, but what he saw made him start to cringe and stutter, cause he was staring into the eyes of his own mother. She looked back at him and cried cause he had forsaken her. She cried more painfully, and when they were raping her, his whole world stopped. He couldn't even contemplate. His corruption had successfully changed his fate, and he remembered how his mom used to come home late, working hard for nothing, cause now what was he worth? He turned away from the woman that had once given him birth, and crying out to the sky cause he was lonely and scared, but only—
Wait, is that his mom? wait, hold on, that's not his mom. It maybe she reminds him, she reminds him of his mother. Ain't no way. How you not know? They put a shirt over her head. Oh snap.
Right before he pulled the trigger and ended her life, he thought about the cocaine with the platinum and ice, and he felt strong standing along with his new brothers. Cocked the gat to her head and pulled back the shirt cover, but what he saw made him start to cringe and stutter, cause he was staring into the eyes of his own mother. She looked back at him and cried cause he had forsaken her. She cried more painfully, and when they were raping her, his whole world stopped. He couldn't even contemplate. His corruption had successfully changed his fate, and he remembered how his mom used to come home late, working hard for nothing, cause now what was he worth? He turned away away from the
Right.
woman that had once given him birth, and crying out to the sky cause he was lonely and scared. But only the devil responded cause God wasn't there. And right then he knew what it was to be empty and cold, and so he jumped off the roof and died with no soul. They say death takes you to a better place, but I doubt it. After that they killed his mother and never spoke about it. And listen, cause the story that I'm telling is true.
Wow.
Cause I was there with Billy Jacobs and I raped his mom too. And now the devil follows me everywhere that I go. In fact, I'm sure he's standing among one of you at my shows. In every street cipher listening to Little Thug's flow. He could be standing right next to you and you wouldn't know. The devil grows inside the hearts of the selfish and wicked. White, brown, yellow, and black color is not restricted. You have a self-destructive destiny when you're inflicted. And you'll be one of God's children that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot. So when the devil wants to dance with you, you better say never. Because a dance with the devil might last you forever.
Dog. Yo. That was intense, man. I knew he knew because it was too descriptive, right? So I felt like he was around it, right? Or a part of it, or he knew somebody that was like a part of it and they told him the story. No, he was a part of it. Like, that's crazy. There's also like an interview of him talking about it, I think. Let me go back. Y'all trying to put, I'm about to put this in the video as well, bro. I gotta see what he gotta say about it. Wait a minute. Let's talk about it. Let's see.
Obviously, perception-wise, as a kid, I didn't associate a Green Lantern and Immortal, even though it makes sense, like musically, and it was dope. But yeah, I think it, like you said, like you pointed out so much stuff early because again, at that time we didn't have access to YouTube and like jumping down a rabbit hole, and it's like, wait a minute, what is he talking about? Like, you know, I think that you definitely, you know, in terms of shedding a light to a whole generation of kids who were just hip hop heads, you definitely did open their eyes to a lot of wild shit, man, and a lot of truthful shit.
Right. And I think that even to this day, there's songs that I've written that people still ask me questions about. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Kev, even 20 years later, people ask me, is Dance with the Devil a true story? And I have to look these people right in the eye and say, sir, I am not responsible for raping or killing any women. That is absolutely crazy. It is a song. However, I can take people, if they really want, to the building where this incident happened in Harlem. And the truth is that actually did happen, and those people that were allegedly responsible for that began dying. And that's why it became such a powerful story, because everyone's like, oh, you're telling hood tales. What if these motherfuckers come back for you? And I said, let them.
Dead.
Right.
What are they gonna do? Like, you think that the neighborhood is gonna protect them after they find out what they really did, that they raped a woman? Do you realize that in rich communities, you can get away with stuff like that? You're like, oh, there are little kids coming in all hours of the night. No one says anything because we're all billionaires. But if you live in the ghetto and someone says a rumor in the hood, oh, someo's touching kids in apartment.
Yeah, they're getting fucked
bro,
up.
Everybody from the neighborhood, yo, ¿qué pasa?
Kicking the door down,
The fuck is going on in your homes?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of energy it was. And these people literally started dying. And one of them, we're not going to mention names because these people don't deserve to be remembered in a good light, but this is a sad story. They couldn't find this man, Kevin. And what I explain to people about the street is that there's no rules. Just like there's no such thing as a safe gun. You have to respect everything. I'm a big Second Amendment guy, but you have to respect the weapon. There's no such thing as a safe gun. These people were out here thinking that they could get away with a crime and that they wouldn't be found, and they murdered this man's son to get him to come to the funeral.
Wow.
So they could kill him.
Jeez.
This is the type of shit that people were dealing with.
That's one of your, would you say that's your most popular song? It's like one of them, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. For people who, because there's going to be people watching this YouTube video who subscribe, who maybe are not hip to your catalog.
I'm not hip.
Give us a break. Like, for people who haven't heard Dance with the Devil, what is the premise of the record?
Well, I mean, without giving the entire thing away, I would say that it's definitely a very realistic tale of what happens when people feel peer pressured to commit violence to join a gang, or when they feel like they have to overcompensate for not being as tough as everybody thinks they is, and they commit violence and do horrible things to people to try to prove something to somebody. I remind individuals that are really living in the street, we don't deal with gratuitous violence. We deal with people that have offended or hurt us, who have come into our neighborhood and caused problems. The premise of going into another neighborhood and just trying to hurt people
Right.
doesn't make sense now. I
Nah.
mean, even if you ask the essays that run each block, they'll be like, why would I start a war for no reason? But in New York City, it was structured differently. It wasn't so much gangs, it was crews back in New York.
Right, right, right.
So if you heard about a story like this, it became an urban legend immediately. And not just that, Kev, it was that the story was always a little bit different. Instead of it being the guy's mom, it would be the person's stepsister, it would be the aunt, it would be someone related. And I think when you have tales about, murder or killing people, it's aggrandized sometimes in hip hop to the point that you never really see the impact of what that is. Like, even if y'all kill someone that's not a kid, if y'all kill someone that's 30 years old, you think that's not somebody's son?
Of course.
You don't think you have a
Or
target on
someone's
your back,
brother
right?
or
You don't
some-
think that
best
somebody's coming
friend
back
or-
for
yeah.
you. That's the reality. And more often than not, when people come up to me and they say, "Oh, do you think the guys from Dance with the Devil were really cursed by the devil?" And I'm like, no, they lived a horrible lifestyle where they thought they could get away with hurting people at random, and eventually it
It
caught
catches
up,
up.
not
Yeah,
just to
for
them,
sure.
but to their children as well.
Come to
Wow.
TurboTax and
Wow. Yo, he gained a new fan, bro. I gotta listen to some more because I like that type of rap style. One, and I like how he just explained all that. To be honest, man, he's very deep. You can tell he's thought about this like for years. Like he's been seeing that for years. I'm glad he cleared that up because I thought maybe he did that. I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I watched that just now to really clarify whether he was involved in that or not. But the overall, story and the message of it is very deep and is very important till this day, bro. I really think till like today for sure. Like there's a lot of people faking it just so they can impress like other dudes. It's ridiculous, bro. And live your life like it's 2023, bro. Make this money, do your thing. You don't have to be involved in that type of lifestyle because that lifestyle doesn't end up good. But man, Oracle, bro, I appreciate you one more time, bro. It's your boy Ochi from the Woke Clan. This is my reaction to Immortal technique on, Dance with the Devil, and I'm out.